Hi friends, today I am with a new video, and in this video we are going to talk about the Amazon Alexa's new skill which is recently launched. It is the voice of legendary Bollywood actor Amitabh Bachchan, and in this video we are going to see how the Alexa command changes with the wake word Amitji, and we have made a complete video using the Hindi and English commands, and we will be definitely using this Amazon Echo Dot, the new Echo Dot, but this will also work with your previous generation Echo Dots also, and also your Echo Shows, so you can try out them. The price for this skill is 149 bucks, and you can purchase that through your Amazon App Store. I will definitely show each and everything in detail. For that you have to keep watching this video. Alexa, introduce me to Amitabh Bachchan.
Deviyo or Sajjano, presenting someone who needs no introduction. The one and only Mr. Amitabh Bachchan.
Hello and namaskar. This is Amitabh Bachchan and it's wonderful to be here. I'm really looking forward to interacting with all of you in this new way through this new system.
That sounds really exciting. How about we get started? Amitji, give us a motivational quote.
Sure, yes, let me tell you, strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. और देखिए, ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ, ये बात जो है महात्मा गांधी जी ने कही थी.
Wow, that certainly blew me away. By the way, Amitji, what's the weather?
मौसम का हाल जो है वो कुछ इस तरह है कि गरजते बादल और कड़कती बिजली. So, if you're stepping up, don't forget your umbrella today, alright?
It is such an honor to talk with Amitji. Now, you too can join us. You can talk to Amitji about his father's poetry, his favorite movies, life experiences, and much more. The Amitabh Bachchan Celebrity Voice on Alexa is available at a special discounted price of just 149 rupees per year. Would you like to buy it now?
Yes.
Okay. Should I go ahead and pay 149 rupees from your Amazon Pay balance?
Yes.
It seems your Amazon Pay balance is low. Would you like to pay 149 rupees via Amazon UPI?
Yes.
Alright. I have sent an SMS to your mobile and a notification to your Amazon shopping app to continue paying via Amazon UPI.
Your Echo Dot sends a mail. There will be a mail instantly on your registered email ID, and here you can see it will be an introduction what Amitabh Bachchan Voice is there. You will also receive an SMS. It might be in the junk folder also, so do check it properly. And now the link will be directing directly to the Amazon Pay. There it will ask you to pay via UPI account, the registered UPI account. You just have to input your UPI ID and then password. After pushing the password, it will take some time and it will show you that the transaction was successful. So this doesn't take much time, and you will instantly get another email, and this says that the purchase is successful. The order confirmation for Amitabh Bachchan Voice is purchased for 149. If you don't want to purchase and go through the Echo device, you can also purchase through browser by just searching in the Amazon.in website. Go and search for Amitabh Bachchan Voice Alexa, and you will find the first result where you can also again go to the cart, purchase that. So you can do that from there also. It will also ask for the same amount. It is 149, which is an introductory offer right now. So now let's start using this Alexa skill of Amitabh Bachchan. Enable Amitji wake word.
I am setting up the celebrity wake word on this device. If you want to disable it, you can do that in device settings in your Alexa app. For now, you are all set to directly speak with Mr. Amitabh Bachchan.
Absolutely, absolutely. हमें भी आपसे गुफ्तगू करने का इंतजार रहेगा.
Just say, tell me a poem, or wish me good morning. By the way, I will still be here. If you need me, just say, Alexa.
Amitji, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Amitji, what can you do?
I can do a lot of things like play music on request or crack a joke or two in jest.
Amitji, good evening.
Good evening, good evening. I hope you're having a pleasant day.
Amitji, recommend some music.
Here's a station you might like, A50s and the movie songs on Amazon Music.
Alexa, stop.
अमित जी कविता सुनाइए।
तो ये लीजिए सुनाता हूं कुछ लाइनें साथ पर, जिसके बगैर जीवन कुछ अधूरा सा रहता है। साथ चाहे किताब का हो या किसी की याद का हो, संगीत का हो या मीत का हो, किसी मित्र का हो या किसी के इत्र का हो, बस साथ चाहिए। फूलों को भंवरों का, सागर को लहरों का, नदी को किनारों का, मौसम को बहारों का, बस साथ चाहिए। सुरों को साज का, लफ्जों को आवाज का, घर में अपनों का, जीवन में सपनों का, साथ चाहिए, बस साथ चाहिए।
अमित जी चुटकुला सुनाइए।
All right, here's another one. Two snakes were relaxing in the garden when one of them asked, "Hey, buddy, are we poisonous?" The other snake thought for a moment and said, "I'm not so sure, but why do you ask?" "Because I just bit my tongue by mistake," replied the first one.
Amit ji, tell me a tongue twister.
How much ground would a groundhog hog if a groundhog could hog ground? A groundhog would hog all the ground he could hog if a groundhog could hog ground. Whew, that was a lot of ground to cover, wasn't it?
Amit ji, wish me happy birthday.
Wish you a happy birthday, a happy birthday, a happy birthday to you.
अमित जी, आज का तापमान कैसा है?
What's the weather? Let's find out together. I know all about atmospheric pressure. Currently in Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh, it's 32 degrees Celsius with partly sunny skies. Today, you can expect some sun and thunderstorms with a high of 32 degrees and a low of 24 degrees.
Amit ji, tell me something inspiring.
All right, let me share a quote with you. Writer Maya Angelou summed up best when she said, "We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated." So keep your chin up, move forward, for victory might be just around the corner.
Amit ji, what is your favorite food?
Perhaps you should know that I'm a vegetarian. It's not a vegetarian in the strict sense of the word. I used to eat meat and everything, but just suddenly one day I decided I wanted to remain a vegetarian. It's got nothing to do with health or with any other customs or rituals, just that I felt I'm happy eating vegetarian food. I'm a very simple eater. I eat Indian vegetarian food, roti, dal, bhindi, aloo, that stuff. Sometimes a pizza, sometimes a little pasta, but other than that, that's it. I don't trouble the kitchen or the cook too much.
Amit ji, who is your favorite author?
I have always been very impressed by the works and the writings and the thoughts and teachings of my father, and I revert to them every now and then. So they have been my favorite works and books, though we all know that the world is full of some great manuscripts and great writers, and one does come across them now and then. It's not a dedicated attention that I've ever been able to give to these writers, but yes, I read my father's works and I feel quite satisfied and complete with them.
Amit ji, what is your favorite movie?
It's very difficult to choose a favorite film, but sometimes there are films that you want to keep watching again and again. I don't know what the reason is, but they just keep happening. So Godfather was one film that I keep watching again and again. Godfather 1, 2 and 3. And my admiration for actors like Marlon Brando, Al Pacino has always been very prominent. Kagas Ke Phool of Gurudat Ji. That's a film that one wants to keep watching again and again. So there are many films like this that come into your life, and there's no particular reason as to why you see them again and again, but they just happen.
Amitji, tell me a childhood story.
A story from childhood. Look, there are any number of stories about my childhood. Like when I was about 2 or 3 years old, I got horned by a bull. I was playing in a field with some friends, and there was a bull that came and it horned me and made a hole in my head. So many times when I tell my friends, when I'm talking nonsense, that's the reason, because there's a hole in my head. But anyway, this was an injury and it healed and everything was okay. But later on, when we were living at 17 Clive Road, Allahabad, this was a house which had a little opening space in front of it. And beyond that open space, there used to be a very large bungalow with very high walls, and it was a very protected area. And I always used to wonder what this house is all about. And many a times I would go up and want to find out, whose it is and what is it and what is inside. And, the security and the darwans, they used to just shoo us away. Then after a lot of persuasion, they told me that there is a Rani that lives inside this house. Her name is Rani Bidya. Bidya is the name of the place, and Rani, she's the Rani from there. Now it became very curious to me that I want to see this Rani Bidya. So many a times I made attempts with the Darwan, said, please let me go in, I want to see, and they would shoo me away. Then, very dubiously, I thought, maybe perhaps if I give him a little bit of money and induce him to let me go in, it would work. So I went home, and my mother used to keep a small little box with loose change inside. So I picked out 2 4 annas. Annas, they were called annas then, rupees and annas. 4 annas was about 25 paise, 25 nai paise. And I took it to the Darwan, and despite the fact that I gave him this, he just did not allow me to go in. On contrarily, my mother found out that I had taken this loose change from her little box, and I got a whacking from her for having stolen this money without telling her. And interestingly, I never was able to find out or see inside that building. But many, many years later, when we had left Allahabad, we had been in Delhi, was working in Calcutta, and then I was joining the film industry. I came here to Mumbai. And one fine day, I was asked to fight an election. I joined politics, and Allahabad was the city that was given to me as where I was to fight the election from. And quite strangely, coincidentally, one of the election meetings that were held just outside the Rani Bidya home on the middle of the street. And nobody knew of this, of course. It was just purely coincidental. And election meetings, as you know, they build a huge platform so you can stand and address the gathering. And when I stood up on that platform, that was the first time I was actually able to see inside Rani Bidya's bungalow. What a wonderful coincidence. But look at the story that happened in order for me to be able to see what Rani Bidya's bungalow was like.
Amitji, tell me a memorable fan interaction.
So during the time of my accident on the film Coolie, when I was struggling for my life, there were several people all over the country that prayed for me, and I am eternally grateful to them for their prayers. Undoubtedly, it is those prayers that have kept me alive. Their prayers went up in mandirs, in masjids, in churches, and that's like a huge debt on my shoulder. A debt which I shall never be able to repay, and I don't want to, because I want those prayers to remain with me. There were several people who took and did a lot of penance for my life at that time, but one such individual I shall always remember. He was a gentleman from Baroda who took a vow that he would run backwards from the city to see me in Mumbai, meet me if I survived. So when I did survive and I reached home, he ran backwards to come and see me. I met him at my house, and after meeting me, all he wanted was to just shake my hands, embrace me, and then he ran back, and he ran backwards back to his city. That's an incredible, selfless gesture of this fan. There have been many fans, and there still are, that do all kinds of wonderful things for me, and I'm eternally grateful to them for their love, their affection, and their care.
Amitji, what was your first acting experience?
My first acting experience was in my first school, which was in Allahabad. It was the St. Mary's Convent, Allahabad. I was in the kindergarten. And for the school play, I played the role of a chicken with little feathers tied to my back. That was my first role.
Amitji, tell me a story from your life in films.
There was this film I did with Sir Rajesh Khanna, the greatest superstar that India has produced. And it was a film called Anand. And in the climax, when Anand dies, I come and break down in front of him. And then sobbing and absolutely breaking down in deep sobs of crying, I put my face down on his chest and I'm crying. The shot was taken from an angle that was what is normally called the top angle. So you see Rajesh Khanna lying down, you see my back lying down on his chest and sobbing. What many people do not know, and this is a trade secret, that your expressions, the facial expressions of someone laughing out uncontrollably and crying uncontrollably are almost the same. So, when the angle was on top, the camera could not see my face. And because my head and my body was covering Rajesh Khanna's body, he was feeling tickled and he was laughing, or he was wanting to laugh, but he had to pretend he was dead. Whereas I, because of the fact that he was getting tickled, was actually laughing. But the body movement, when you shake as you weep or you shake when you laugh, is the same. So from the top angle, it was looking as though I was sobbing and crying uncontrollably, when in fact, I was actually laughing.
Amitji, recite Madhushala. Amitji, sing a song.
Hello, namaskar. This is Amitabh Bachchan. And I'm going to present to you my duet with Alexa that I had the great privilege to sing along. And I'm delighted to bring it to your listening. Thank you.
Amitji, good night.
Good night. Hope you've set the alarm and are ready to snooze.
Amitji, Shabba Khair.
Good night. Shubha Ratri and Shabba Khair.
So this is all about the new Alexa skill of legendary Amitabh Bachchan on your Alexa devices. This is Vivin signing off. Please like the video, share the video and don't forget to hit the subscribe button below for us. Thank you.